We are here in Jamestown today because it has been 10 years since the floods that devastated so many towns in Colorado, including this one. Kim and I brought our 4 o'clock show up here today, so we're getting a chance to show you Jamestown now, 10 years later. And to do that, we're joined now by the mayor of Jamestown, Michael Box. And you were here then, and the image of this place then has to be something that you can't really shake. It's got to stay with you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's true. We were here 10 years ago. This place we were sitting now was really underwater and turned into a giant rubble field, and it was quite the scene, quite a lot different than what we have now, looking around.
About how many people stayed, though? You're one of a small group of people that stayed for the next year.
Yeah, that's true. So we had, the flood happened was probably about a 3 to 4 day kind of window when we were here in town, and there was a lot of uncertainty about people leaving or not, and then there was a decision that was done at the federal level to evacuate all the mountain towns via helicopter, and that happened. And I flew out on the last helicopter with the rest of the firefighters that were here at the time, and I got to Boulder, and I bought an old used car, an old Subaru, and used that to drive back up. And about 2 days later, they had roughed in a road coming down from the top when I was able to drive back in. So I think I was gone for about 2 days total after the flood happened. And there were some people that stayed altogether, did not get on the helicopters. But yeah, came back. There was no more water. We did have power. We had, after a little while, we had some really intermittent internet service.
This is in winter. I mean, it's already can be pretty rough.
Yeah, so this is
winter.
This started in late September and went through the whole winter. And yeah, it was an interesting experience. I had this romantic notion of it'd be fun to live without water, in a little cabin or something. And I did do that. I had no running water for the first 6 months. We'd have to. I had to walk across the street, and I would carry 5-gallon buckets and take them and fill them up in the creek and bring them back to flush the toilet, and we'd filter that to wash the dishes. For a good chunk, we had to bring a pick with us to cut through the ice in the creek to get the water out.
But now you're here, Michael. It's 10 years later. You're now the mayor.
Yeah.
And this is a small town, and it seems like the fabric of this town doesn't change a lot. There are 250 residents who live here. Once they're here, they stay.
Yeah, that's generally true, as long as they can stay.
Yeah.
We like to make sure that there's a kind of an availability for people to be here. Some people were displaced after the flood,
sure.
and were not able to return. We were really, fortunate to get as many as we could, back here and have their homes rebuilt. We lost, I think, it was right around 15% of the houses were completely destroyed here. But now there's only 110 houses in town, so. But still, not to minimize that, we had a lot of damage, a lot of lives majorly disrupted. So yeah, people stay around here. I know you were talking to Louis earlier here.
Yeah.
He's a good old timer. We've got a lot of folks that have been here for a long time.
Well, being here today, I get it. Because this is, obviously it's 10 years ago, it was a terrible weather. But it's a gorgeous place on a beautiful day, and it's a lovely town. You guys have a great spirit here, too, to see what it looks like 10 years later. And I imagine you're pretty happy with where you've had to travel to be here now today.
I am. It's been a lot of work, and there's been many people that contributed to that. The mayor at the time was a woman named Tara Schedinger, and she was an excellent mayor, a real rock star for us here, kind of universally respected for her work. She, took a sabbatical from her full-time job and just dedicated it to the town for really about 2 years as just the full-time flood recovery manager for us. And I don't think we would have been able to accomplish what we did without her and many other groups that came here from all over the country. Some of them, federal agencies, but lots of aid groups too. There's groups of Mennonites that came here and built some houses for us. There was a group of the Southern Baptists that showed up with a bunch of heavy machinery, completely uninvited, and just started going to work.
Well, we really appreciate you having us up here today, and hopefully sharing the story with many of our viewers as well about Jamestown 10 years later. Thanks so much for having us. It's good to see you.
Absolutely.
Michael Box.
Thanks very much.
It's nice to meet you under these circumstances. And hope
Yeah.
it just stays this perfect place.
Well, I hope so. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Thanks.
We'll be right back. Stay with us.